You are not here to struggle. You are not here to force, to worry, to beg, or to chase. You are here to remember the power that lies within you, the power that shapes your world, moment by moment, thought by thought. So let go, not by resignation, but by realize that you are not the doer in the way the world has taught you. You are the assumer, and what you assume with feeling becomes your experience. When you grasp this, effort becomes unnecessary and struggle dissolves. The world reflects not your striving, but your inner state. To relax is not to be idle. To relax is to live from the end. To see clearly in your mind's eye the life you desire as already yours, and to rest there, resting in that assumption without needing to see it instantly in the outer world. For all things move from within to without. Every condition, every circumstance, every person that enters your life, they come in response to your inner conversation, your inner acceptance. Trusting the universe is not placing your faith in something outside of you. It is knowing that the universe is yourself pushed out. The law is impersonal, exact, and unerring. As you sow in consciousness, so shall you reap in experience. You are not waiting on the universe waits on you to move in imagination. Do not chase after signs or wonder when it will come. Creation is finished. What you desire already is. You need only align with it. The feeling of your wish fulfilled. This is the key. Feel it deeply, gently, confidently. The world may remain unchanged for a moment, but the seed has been planted, and what is planted in the garden of the mind must grow. Let go of how, that is not your concern. Let go of when. Time is only a servant of your assumption. Remain faithful to the unseen reality that lives in your awareness. Relax, because all things are possible to the one who believes. Change your inner state and the world will follow. Trust not as blind hope, but as knowing. Knowing that what you feel as true, consistently and sincerely, will outpicture itself in divine order. Be still, know it is done, and let it unfold in perfect timing. Letting go does not mean giving up. It does not mean you stop caring or withdraw from life. Letting go in its truest form is the recognition that you are not bound by the appearances of the world. You are not at the mercy of circumstances, people, or events. It is the quiet but powerful realization that the source of your life, your success, your love, your peace, lies not out there, but within. You begin to understand that real control does not come from pushing, forcing, or manipulating the outer world. Real control comes from mastering the inner world of thought and feeling. The moment you let go of the desperate need to change what is outside, you reclaim your true creative power. You stop reacting and start assuming. You stop chasing and start imagining. The outer world, with all its noise and activity, is only a shadow of your inner state. As long as you are trying to fix the shadow without touching the light that casts it, you will remain in struggle. But when you turn inward, when you deliberately choose your thoughts, your assumptions, and your emotions, you touch the real source. That is the only place where change begins. Letting go, then, is not about inaction. It is a shift from outer action to inner alignment. It is the decision to stop wrestling with appearances and instead dwell in the feeling of your desired outcome. It is the practice of inner stillness, the discipline of faith. You let go not because you don't care, but because you finally understand what actually works. You let go because you have awakened to the truth that your world is a mirror, and the only way to change the reflection is to change the image you hold in consciousness. It can be difficult at first because the world seems so real, so immediate. We're conditioned to believe that effort equals results, that we must hustle, plan, and push our way through life. But the more you force, the more you affirm that you lack. The more you try to control the outside, the more you admit you feel powerless inside. Letting go is not passive. It is the boldest act of trust. It says, I know who I am. I know that what I assume and believe will unfold. I do not need to strain or panic. And this shift in perspective is what opens the door. When you no longer try to make it happen, you create space for it to happen naturally. When you stop chasing, you start attracting. When you stop doubting, you begin receiving. It is not the world that grants your wish. It is your faith in the unseen, your conviction in the inner reality that calls it into form. As long as you are grasping tightly to how it must come, you block the very thing you seek. So to let go is to remember the true source of creation is your imagination. Your awareness of being is the center of your world. You do not need to manipulate people or conditions. You do not need to beg or plead. You only need to enter the state of the wish fulfilled, to feel yourself already in possession of what you desire, and remain there. That is where your power lies, not in control over the world, but in control over your inner state. When you understand this, letting go is no longer a loss. It is a return to self, to truth, and to the boundless creative power that has always been yours. To relax is to trust. It is to know beyond any shadow of doubt that what you have desired is already yours in the unseen realm of consciousness. It is not about hoping or wishing. It is not about waiting anxiously for a future day to bring what you seek. To relax is to live from the end, to inhabit mentally and emotionally the state of already having what you once longed for. It is to assume right now that you are the person you desire to be, living the life you desire to live, and from that place of inner knowing, all things flow. This is not pretending, this is not delusion, this is the very nature of creation. Everything begins within you. Every change in your life, every new condition must first be conceived in your imagination and felt in your body. The mind that holds the end result as present will see that result manifest, because the universe does not respond to what you want, it responds to what you are conscious of being. When you relax into the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you tell the infinite, this is already true for me. And that assumption is the seed from which the outer world grows. True relaxation does not mean inactivity. It means alignment. It means that your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs are no longer in conflict. You no longer desire one thing but expect another. You no longer say with your words that you believe, but contradict it in your heart with doubt and fear. When you live from the end, your being is unified. You are no longer waiting for something to happen. You are dwelling in the conviction that it already has, and that is what allows it to unfold effortlessly. The feeling is everything. Thought alone is not enough. You must feel the reality of your desire. You must let it become natural, familiar, and true to your inner senses. Just as you would savor a memory of something that already occurred, you must savor in imagination the outcome you desire, as though it were a memory too. Because in consciousness, there is no difference between past, present, and future. All is now. And when you saturate your mind with the emotional experience of already being, already having, already living the end, you draw it to you with precision and certainty. This is faith, not blind belief in something outside yourself, but a deep and quiet confidence in the unseen laws of consciousness. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. When you truly have faith, you relax, because you know that nothing is missing. You no longer look anxiously for signs. You no longer worry about when or how. You walk in the world, as though it is already done. And in that knowing, in that calm acceptance, you are moved in perfect harmony with your desire. Trying, striving, forcing, these are signs that you are living from the middle, not the end. When you live from the end, effort dissolves. You are not driven by lack, you are led by fulfillment. You are no longer seeking something outside to complete you. You carry within you the fullness of your desire. And because you feel it to be so, the world must reflect it. To relax is to return to your creative center. It is to drop resistance and step into the reality you have chosen, not by force, but by imagination. Let your inner world become more real than the outer facts, and the outer facts will conform. The universe does not resist your desire, it responds to your assumption. So relax, rest in the feeling and let it come, not because you need it to complete you, but because you know that it already belongs to you. The universe you experience is not separate from you. It is not some external force acting upon you randomly or arbitrarily. It is the outpicturing of your inner world, a mirror reflecting back to you the state of your consciousness. Everything you see, hear, touch, and experience is shaped by your beliefs, your assumptions, your habitual thoughts and feelings. The universe is yourself pushed out, and every person, every situation, every event is an echo of your inner dialogue. This understanding changes everything. It places the power back where it belongs, not in circumstances, not in fate, not in luck or external validation, but in you. You begin to realize that you are not a victim of life's conditions, you are the creator of them. What you assume to be true about yourself and the world becomes your experience. If you believe you are loved, the world will show you love. If you believe the world is hostile, it will seem to confirm that belief over and over again. The outer world is simply a canvas upon which your inner world is painted. Relationships are the clearest example of this principle. The people you attract, the way they treat you, the roles they play in your life, all of it reflects the beliefs you hold about yourself and others. If you feel unworthy, if you harbor beliefs of rejection or abandonment, those patterns will repeat themselves until you change your assumption. You are not reacting to the world is reacting to you. It is always mirroring your state, bringing you people and situations that confirm what you already believe to be true. This is not about blame, it is about awareness. When you truly understand that the universe is yourself pushed out, you stop trying to change the world through force or manipulation. Instead, you turn within. You revise your thoughts, your assumptions, your emotional habits. And as you do, the outer world must rearrange itself to match the new inner state. It cannot do otherwise, because consciousness is the only reality. The outer follows the inner just as surely as shadow follows light. If you experienced lack, look within. Somewhere you've assumed lack to be true. If you are met with conflict, examine your inner dialogue. What are you telling yourself about others, about life, about who you are? You may find that your outer world is simply confirming what you've been unconsciously affirming. Change the assumption, and the world changes with it. This does not mean you must control every thought or become rigidly positive. It means you must become conscious of what you are consenting to believe. What are you accepting as true, and how does that truth feel within you? Do you live in fear, in doubt, in limitation? Or do you dwell in the peace of knowing that your desires are already fulfilled? The world outside has no choice but to reflect the world within. When you recognize that everyone is yourself pushed out, compassion also arises. You stop blaming others for your pain. You see them as actors playing roles in the drama you've authored through your inner state. If someone treats you poorly, ask yourself, not with guilt, but with curiosity, what belief within you invited this performance? And then change the script. Assume a new truth. Assume your worth, your power, your wholeness, and watch how the cast of your life begins to respond differently. There is no separation between you and the world. You are not in the universe, you are the universe, localized in human form, experiencing itself through thought, feeling, and imagination. To know this is to be free. To live from this awareness is to step into mastery. The mirror will always reflect what you place before it. Place before it love, and you will see love. Place before it abundance, and you will see abundance. The outer world will never fail to show you who you believe yourself to be. Feeling is the secret, not thought alone, not mere words or affirmations, but the feeling behind them. This is what shapes your world. Your emotions are not random reactions to life. They are the creative currents that give form and substance to your assumptions. Whatever you feel deeply and consistently, your reality must reflect. You can speak positive words all day, but if the underlying feeling contradicts them, it is the feeling that will manifest. The outer world is shaped not by what you say, but by what you feel to be true. When you impress an assumption onto your subconscious mind, it is not logic or repetition that embeds it, it is the emotional charge. The subconscious speaks the language of feeling. It does not argue, question, or analyze. It simply accepts whatever is impressed upon it with emotion as fact. That is why a deeply felt fear often comes to pass just as surely as a deeply felt faith does. Both are creative acts. Both are prayers answered, not by a distant deity, but by the impersonal law of consciousness. If you assume something half-heartedly, without conviction or emotional engagement, it rarely takes root. It is the intensity of your feeling that stamps the image into the deeper mind. Imagine yourself wealthy, successful, healthy, or loved, whatever you desire, but do more than just visualize the picture. Feel the reality of it. Let the experience become so vivid in your imagination that your nervous system cannot tell the difference between what is imagined and what is physical. That is the moment the seed is planted. You can think of imagination as the mold and feeling as the substance that fills the mold. A dry, emotionless picture in the mind remains just a picture. But when it is filled with genuine feeling, gratitude, excitement, peace, relief, it becomes a living thing. It takes root in consciousness and begins to express itself in the world around you. The law of consciousness is precise. What you feel to be true and persist in feeling will harden into fact. This is why worry is such a powerful creative force, though in the direction of what you do not want. Worry is imagination in misuse. It is the emotional rehearsal of negative outcomes, and the more intensely you feel them, the more life you give them. You do not manifest what you want. You manifest what you feel to be true. Whether your feeling is based in joy or fear, it is always producing after its kind. To harness this power, you must learn to feel deliberately. You must cultivate emotional alignment with your desired state, rather than reacting unconsciously to appearances. Ask yourself, how would I feel if my desire were already fulfilled? Then step into that feeling now. Make it your dwelling place. Let your inner world become saturated with that emotional reality until it becomes more familiar, more real to you than the outer facts. And you must persist in the feeling. One moment of inspired imagining can spark the process, but sustained feeling is what completes it. Doubt, fear, and impatience are not signs that something is wrong. They are simply signs that you've shifted your feeling back to lack. You must gently but firmly return to the state of the wish fulfilled. Practice it again and again until it becomes your new natural state. You are always creating, whether you know it or not, through what you feel to be true. The question is not if you're manifesting, but what you're manifesting. Feeling is the creative force, the engine behind all transformation. When you take control of your inner emotional state, you take control of your life. The outer world bends to the inner world, and the inner world is shaped by feeling. To remain faithful to the unseen is to live with unwavering trust in the invisible reality of your desire, even when every outward appearance seems to contradict it. It is to recognize that what you see with your physical eyes is not the final truth, but merely the result of your past assumptions. Your current reality is a reflection of what you once believed and felt to be true. If you continue to respond only to what is seen, you will stay bound to what already is. But if you choose instead to respond to the unseen, what you have imagined and accepted within, you begin to rise above appearances and step into your creative authority. Faith is not blind. Faith is the vision of the